Welcome to Bloodshed Breakdown, the podcast where we dissect the most horrifying killers in fiction and reality. I'm your host, Vesper Ravencroft, and today we're diving into the terrifying minds behind horror's most brutal murderers, both fictional and real. A crime of passion in horror films is an explosive act of violence, often fueled by revenge or emotional torment. One of the best examples, Scream's Ghostface. The killers behind the mask are driven by deeply personal motives, jealousy, betrayal, or obsession. Their attacks are brutal, messy, and frenzied, just like real-life crimes of passion. Take another example, Jack Torrance from The Shining. His descent into madness is slow but explosive, leading to an uncontrollable murderous rage. Much like real crimes of passion, these killers act on impulse, making them unpredictable and terrifying. Their lack of self-control means their victims have little time to escape, trapping them in a nightmare scenario where rage is their only warning sign. Unlike frenzied killers, some horror icons kill with chilling precision. Michael Myers from Halloween is the embodiment of pure evil, silent, emotionless, and unstoppable. His murders aren't impulsive. They're deliberate, slow, and methodical, making him even more terrifying. Hannibal Lecter, on the other hand, represents the intellectual killer, outsmarting his victims and playing mind games before striking. These killers reflect real-life predators who stalk their victims, plan every move, and leave minimal evidence. The scariest part, these calculated murderers could be anyone: a neighbor, a stranger in the crowd, or someone watching you from the shadows. Horror movies tap into this fear, showing us that sometimes the quietest killer is the deadliest. How do horror victims survive these different killers? Against a slasher, running and fighting back increases survival chances. Final girls like Sidney Prescott prove that. But against a calculated killer like Lecter or Jigsaw, strategy is key. Horror reflects real investigations. Profilers study killers to predict their next move. Police in films like Seven and Silence of the Lambs use psychology to track murderers before they strike again. But what happens when a killer is truly unstoppable? Some, like It Follows or The Babadook, represent inescapable horror, where running is futile. Horror teaches us that whether faced with chaos or cold calculation, survival depends on understanding the enemy and adapting. Because in the world of horror, fear itself is the deadliest weapon. So, which horror killers haunt you the most? Do you fear the chaotic rage of a slasher or the silent precision of a stalker? Let me know your thoughts. If you enjoyed today's breakdown, subscribe and leave a review. Join me next time as we descend further into the darkness of horror. Until then, stay safe, stay curious, and remember, sometimes the real horror is the one you never see coming.